My name is Sandy. I'm originally from Lebanon. I immigrated here 14 years ago with my mom and siblings. My dad didn't come with us. My dad is one of those men who are like really attached to the land, specifically since his funeral. Yeah, my dad had real attachment issues. He was a like borderline hoarder. He collected things. He collected points, magazines, calendars, and lots of documentaries about people having sex. And he didn't hide them well. Yeah. They were very entertaining for me at the age of 6. Yeah. My relationship with my dad improved so much since his funeral. Because he became more grounded and down to earth. Yeah. In the 90s in Lebanon, Pepsi had a campaign where we collect bottle caps. The campaign was called Pepsi Point. And we exchanged these bottle caps with gadgets that have like big Pepsi logo on them. So my dad died. We lost him to diabetes. But we won 2 backpack and a cooler. Yeah. A really good cooler, a big one. They were really good quality. They lasted longer than my dad. In the past 2 years, I made these jokes at least once a week. I love laughing, and I learned to laugh about life's misery, starting with my own. Humor is my main coping mechanism, and I've used it and abused it over the years. It is my way I learn to accept the things that I cannot control in life. You know, I suck it up, laugh about it, and go on, because life doesn't wait for anybody. Life goes on, and so do I. So last Wednesday, I went to a coffee shop to prepare for this show. I went there, I got my coffee. The barista has seen me perform stand-up, and I think she was impressed. She's a little bit flirty with me, very kind and sweet. That day, I woke up effortlessly stunning, like almost every day. So I sat there, drinking my coffee by the window, basking in the light of the sun, looking like so hot and smart, writing. And while I was sitting there, suddenly out of nowhere, my eyes turned red and very tense, and tears start flooding from my eyes, and I couldn't stop. So I stayed by the window. Yeah, too much for looking hot and smart with all this crying. But I sat there and just cried. I cried because my dad is dead. My father has passed away 15 years ago. I have processed it over and over in my life. I processed it in therapy, outside of therapy. I built a whole stand-up career because of it. But I was crying, then I was reacting. So I sat there and cried. And then memories starting coming back. I remembered a time when I was very, very young, a game I used to play with my dad and younger sister at home, a very silly game where my dad used to take us on a trip where we had to fight fierce animals, like bend to let airplanes pass, crawl in tunnels, jump over bridges. Obviously, none of that was there. We lived in a very tiny apartment in one of the most crowded areas in Beirut. The balcony view was our neighbor's washroom. The music we heard every day, like our first DJ was our neighbors because they had louder speakers than ours. My dad was very handy. He was very creative. I used to love watching him do things. His focus was mesmerizing for me. I used to love watching him like use tools. There was a finesse in his hands. Passing him tools or being involved in the projects was one of the most exciting things for me. In this tiny apartment we had, my dad made a cage for the birds we had that looked like a Roman theater, a huge cage in our tiny apartment. He also made a beautiful aquarium in the wall that looked like a living painting. Yeah, we always had birds and fish, different ones, because they used to die every time he traveled. Yeah, he took better care of them than anyone else at home. My dad worked for a few years in Syria. I got used to live without him. I lived with my mom and a sister, and I even enjoyed it. My mom is the strict one between my parents, but in my dad's absence, she was less irate. She really mellowed out. She fought with me less, and she was so chill. She even cooked less, because women can eat anything. We ate a lot of cheese and pizza, and I really loved pizza, so I really enjoyed it. My dad, every 3 weeks or like a month, he used to come to visit. I didn't miss him when he came. I used to hug him and kiss him, but I didn't really miss him. I used to go visit him in Syria. He lived in an apartment on the 17th floor in a high-rise. And surprisingly, opposite to his hoarding habits, that apartment was very minimalist and very functional, yet it had everything it needed. In his living room, he had 2 couches, a TV on a table pushed to the wall, and in the middle of the living room, he had a blue swimming pool for kids, filled with water, knee heights. My dad, in his second half of the 30s, a father of 2, used to play backgammon with his friends in this kids' swimming pool in his apartment. He also used to invite his friends for dinner. He used to love telling stories. He used to love cooking and eating with his friends. He seemed like a pleasant person. He seemed unbothered there. And he also allowed me to just be however I wanted to be. He allowed me to do whatever I wanted to do. I didn't do much. I spent most of my time in the swimming pool, immersed in water, just dreaming and lost in my thoughts. In that swimming pool, I swam through continents and planets and universes. Also, when I was sitting in that cafe, I remembered all the pictures, the infinite pictures that my dad took of me. He used to document everything: weddings, outings, dinners, funerals, divorces. He documented everything. He used to treat a fireproof bag full of film negatives so dearly. For him, that was his most precious belonging. He used to always say, and I used to make fun of him, that you can lose everything in the world, but if you lose your memories, you can't have them back. Sitting there, I thought how funny memories are. That day, I remembered good things. I know memory is not accurate. We remember whatever we want sometimes. I know my dad was not perfect. He was actually far from being perfect. He was a spectrum of weird, strange, different. He was an artist. He was slightly mad. But so are apparently most of the people I love. They're all mad. And maybe I am also mad. And maybe also this like burning feeling that I have inside of me of like just being able to hug him one time, like an actual hug. One tight hug. And I also felt like I want to smell him, although for like so many years, I hated his smell. And then I thought like, I would actually take anything. I would like to build something with him or like just pass him tools. I would take literally anything. But actually, I have nothing but the memories from that fireproof bag. Good night.